Jewish women moments before facing execution in the ghetto, Latvia, 1941. A farmer caught a wild pig that was eating his dogs, Australia, 1980. Linus, the longest-haired and longest-tailed horse in the world. Among the first 15 Roman emperors, only Claudius did not have love affairs with men. This was considered unusual behavior and ridiculed by poets and writers who said that loving only women made Claudius effeminate. Photographers shoot an atomic explosion from News Knob Rock, Nevada test site, June 24, 1957. Schoolboy Andrei Novikov signals an air raid alarm, USSR, World War II. Mother and child cooking in gas masks, French village, World War I. In the basement of the Supreme Court of Argentina, over 80 boxes full of Nazi materials were found. In 1925, a Belgian merchant, unable to sell his dresses, draped his entire house with them overnight. The police arrived, the town watched, and the dresses quickly sold out. British photographer William Saunders went to China, where he took this staged beheading photo to evoke disgust in the West about Asian customs and motivate it to civilize China. The photograph shows a man examining nuclear lava, known as Chernobyl's elephant's foot. Being near it guaranteed death from radiation. Young American women admire stockings. Back then, it was very hard to get them, 1940. German soldiers testing the strength of the gallows before executing suspected Soviet partisans, 1941. Kim Jong-un with his father, leader of North Korea, Pyongyang, 1990s. The architect of the Auschwitz concentration camp, Rudolf Höss, shortly before he was executed. The Japanese listened to the emperor's message about surrender, Japan, 1945. American Marines pose against the backdrop of a huge mushroom cloud from a nuclear explosion, Nevada, May 1952. Hector the Rat, France's first astronaut, 1961. A few hours before launch, Hector chewed through a bundle of cables transmitting information. After 8 minutes of flight, the animal safely returned to Earth. Model K. Heffernan demonstrates the safety of the insecticide DDT, New York, 1948. It is now banned due to its danger to living organisms. British Captain Robert Campbell, during World War I, was wounded and captured in Magdeburg. In November 1916, he learned that his mother was dying of cancer and asked Kaiser Wilhelm II for permission to visit England. The Kaiser granted him 2 weeks with the officer's word of honor. Campbell visited his mother and returned to captivity, where he stayed until the end of the war. These kinds of doors helped alcoholics of the past find the keyhole after their alcoholic procedures. In 1931, a Zubasu was discovered in Marrakesh, living naked in a cave and eating raw meat. The yellow press dubbed him the last Neanderthal, but scientists later linked his condition to microcephaly. a three-wheeled timber truck from the early 1900s. In those days, hard labor literally meant hard labor. Opium became a weapon of the British against China, causing widespread addiction and a national crisis. This led to the First Opium War, and Britain seized Hong Kong. Julius Dock at the Chicago Police Station, 1906. The criminal, disguised as a woman, was hiding from the police, but it seems he still made a mistake somewhere. Creepy dental x-rays from the past. The medicine of the past could surprise you. Just look at this dental treatment. A Swedish weightlifter celebrates after successfully lifting the weight at the Olympics, Montreal, 1976. The arrangement of a gypsy baron's grave, photo from the 2000s. The arrest of Martin Luther King for suing for service in a white-only restaurant, 1964. Playing tennis on the wing of a flying airplane, USA, 1925. Mysterious and controversial photo of the ape man found in the Amazon, 1937. A Turkish official taunts starving Armenian children with bread during the Armenian Genocide, 1915. A crowd burning books that did not conform to the ideology of the Hitler regime at a mass event in 1933. Hitler was afraid of visiting dentists. He often complained of toothaches, had terrible bad breath, yellowed teeth, abscesses, and gum disease. World War I. Shell casings fired at German positions. Wives of sailors from the Kursk submarine at the site of the submarine's sinking, Barents Sea, Russia, 2000. In case of war, evacuate children, cover the windows, kill the cat, 1939, United Kingdom. In September 1939, within a week of the declaration of war, over 750,000 pets were killed in the UK. The reason was simple: there would be no food to feed them. One of the earliest versions of a diving suit. In 1947 in New York, the body of Homer Collier, who had starved to death, was found in an apartment blocked by 100 tons of junk, underneath which his paralyzed brother was also discovered. In the 1950s, Italy produced protective shoes for women. These shoes were equipped with spurs on the heels and toes so that women could protect themselves from persistent admirers. Equipment for whipping in a police station, United Kingdom, late 19th century. At the peak of his popularity, Charlie Chaplin participated in a Charlie Chaplin look-alike contest in San Francisco. He came in 20th place. The armored Mercedes-Benz of the president of Ingushetia after an assassination attempt by the Russians, 2005. Inflatable boats made of buffalo hide, early 19th century India. USA, 1950s, FBI fingerprint storage. The Great Ohio River flood of January 1937 submerged 70% of Louisville, rendering thousands homeless. Yet, one surreal photograph remains from the devastation: a horse lodged high in a tree. An American destroyer escorts a Soviet freighter carrying missiles from Cuba after the Cuban Missile Crisis, 1962. Lava flows engulfing a village west of Vesuvius, 1944. World War II, veteran playing guitar to Surreal, Japan, 1951. An ancient praying mantis preserved in amber, over 12 million years old. In 1945, the USS Indianapolis was carrying an atomic bomb to Japan, but was torpedoed and sank. The sailors who ended up in the water were attacked by sharks. About 150 people died from their teeth. How the Victorian corset damages the ribs, 1882. Manchester and Cardiff fans arguing over which team plays better football, Britain, 1970s. Priests saluting Hitler during a Catholic youth rally, Berlin, 1933. In 1913, 19-year-old student Terry Williams invented mascara by mixing soot with Vaseline. A dissatisfied Pole exchanges devalued banknotes after a denomination. After the exchange, he will receive one new banknote instead of 10,000 old ones, 1995. Pacific Islanders examine a F-4U aircraft. Initially, the military was mistaken for gods, 1943. An Iraqi man celebrates on top of a burning American Army Hummer in northern Baghdad, Iraq, 2004. A black family drinks from a colored-only fountain in the U.S., 1956. The contrast between their dignified appearance and their humiliating social status is striking. A Bosnian soldier near a destroyed house where 69 people, including his family, perished. Yugoslavian War, 1995. Germans with local Russian women in occupied territory, 1943. A Tibetan man greets a photographer in 1955. This gesture was traditional proof that they weren't reincarnated demons, because according to folklore, demons have green tongues. German automobile with a spring steel tire, used due to the rubber shortage during World War I, 1917. Tutankhamun's parents were brother and sister, and this is what he looked like according to scientists' reconstruction. Red Light District, Amsterdam, 1968. In public libraries of medieval Europe, books were chained to the shelves due to the high value of each copy. Private Richie sniffs a letter sent by his girlfriend from Oklahoma and scented with her perfume, Vietnam, 1966. A wedding in a church destroyed by German shells, London, 1941. As long as we have beer and tobacco, we are not afraid of the enemy's scum. We will endure. German postcard from World War I, 1916. A photo from a New York parade celebrating the end of World War I. A car with captured German carrier pigeons drives past the spectators, 1918. A second before the crash, 1962. a grim memorial to the victims of the Buchenwald concentration camp. Death trains with prisoners traveled on these rails, Germany. Japanese people commuting to work in the morning, 1964. Due to population density, pushing and embracing strangers is an everyday occurrence for them. Back then and now, people in Tokyo don't live there. It's very expensive. But they all work in the capital, so they commute for several hours from the suburbs. There are so many people in Japan and so little land, so bumping into and hugging strangers is common. HMS Hermione's shipcat, Convoy, had his own hammock. He died with 87 crew members when the ship was torpedoed on June 16, 1942. In this photo, the English wizard Alex Sanders, self-proclaimed King of Witches, is initiating a young novice into the mysteries of the magical arts. The wizard placed the naked novice in a circle, then lay on top and recited incantations. Thus, the girl became a witch. Sanders died on April 30th, 1988, after a prolonged battle with lung cancer. Hachiko at Shibuya Stations, Tokyo, 1933. French soldiers use a homemade trench catapult to throw grenades at German positions, 1915. Survivors of the Japanese attack on an Australian Navy patrol ship during World War II. They built a raft and were spotted from the air, but due to a storm, they were unable to be rescued that day. They were never seen again. Crew members of the American B-29 bomber, Enola Gay. This is the bomber that dropped the atomic bomb on Hiroshima in 1945. Taking out garbage from an apartment where two brothers collected about 130 tons of junk. One of the brothers tried to crawl to his paralyzed sibling, but was buried by debris and died, while the other died of hunger. 1,947. A historic moment. The first female tractor driver in Uzbekistan, 1923. The mummies of Guanajuato are considered the creepiest. Their distorted faces suggest people were buried alive. In the 19th century, due to unpaid grave taxes, bodies were exhumed and stored in basements, and later, a museum was created from the most frightening ones. Japanese children at a farewell ceremony before evacuation from Tokyo, 1945. Most of our knowledge about hypothermia comes from horrific human experiments conducted in Nazi Germany. A White Girl and a Slave Girl, 1880, Brazilian Empire. Democratically elected President Salvador Allende, just seconds before his death, during a military coup at the presidential palace. Chile, 1973. Special anti-gas cribs for infants, England, 1942. In the 1940s, women were allowed to smoke in maternity wards. East German officers are afraid to shake hands with a West Berlin resident on the day the Berlin Wall fell, November 10, 1989. Baby Races, New Jersey, 1955. The photo shows an emaciated 18-year-old Russian girl after being liberated from the Dachau concentration camp, 1945. This is how the weight of people was once determined. In the photo, a woman from the Tarahumara tribe is being weighed. Mexico, 1892. May Capone, wife of the famous gangster Al Capone, wraps herself in furs trying to hide from press cameras while visiting her husband at Alcatraz prison, 1929. A little boy gives an older boy a flower after arriving at Auschwitz, 1944. All the people in the photograph were executed by the Germans that same day. Acoustic locators from World War I, 1917 to 1940. Woman snatches matches from a monk attempting self-immolation. Seoul, South Korea, 1963. The release of one of Microsoft's most iconic operating systems, Windows 95. Actor Ron Storm, on the right, takes a break in a restroom, UK, 1970. He was known for playing female roles. While a man in a dress once shocked audiences, times have certainly changed since then. Men's hairstyles from the 18th century. Circus elephants Kiri and Manny help clear the streets of Hamburg after a bombing. Germany, November 1945. Thank you for watching this video until the end. I hope these photos impressed you. Some may have made you angry, brought a smile, made you happy, or perhaps even caused some negativity. Feel free to leave your comments and stay tuned for the next part. Don't forget to subscribe and like the video. Bye.